What's up? What's up, good people? And welcome to another episode of Sometimes with Madrian. I'm your host, Madrian Lowe, and sometimes you just got to talk about it. And today we're talking about starting. Sometimes you just have to start. I think it's one of those things, like I feel like we really have a hard time just getting stuff going sometimes, and we get in what I call analysis paralysis, and you think about all the things that could go wrong. You negotiate with yourself about why you can't do something or why you shouldn't do something. Well, you just need to start. Just start where you are. And so we'll talk about that today and get into some more things. But before we jump to the episode, be sure that you like, subscribe, and share the channel. If you have any questions or something that you would like me to discuss, feel free to email me at this email address here, aka right here. It's going to be right here. It's going to be right here. If it's not right here, tell me in the comments that it's not right there, Madrian. It's madrianslens@gmail.com. Yeah, I want to talk about the idea of just starting. Because I think so many of us sometimes we just get in the habit of not starting things that we really want to do and just thinking about it, talking about it, ruminating about it, but never making it happen. So let's jump in the episode. So like I was saying, I think a lot of us get into this idea or stuck with this thing that I call analysis paralysis, which is basically just the rumination and the overthinking, the negotiating with yourself about whether or not you can accomplish something, about whether or not you're good enough to do something, about whether or not you're able to do something, because you either want something to be a certain way and want it to be good and effective and come across the way you want it to be done, or you just are self-doubting and not believing in yourself or not thinking that you're capable enough to do it. And I loved when the quote from Michael Jackson went famous on TikTok, and it was Michael was saying, like, I record all the time and I'm in the studio because if I don't record a song, I'm going to listen to it and hear Prince singing the song that I was going to do, or like a thought I had, right? And not in the sense that the same thing can happen in real life, but I mean, it can happen in real life. Like, you can have an idea, or you can have a think piece, or you can have a song, or you can have something that you want to create, but because you're unwilling to put in the work, or you're negotiating with yourself about whether or not it has value, there's someone else with a similar enough experience in life that will create something that will mimic or be a direct representation of something that you had an idea about first. And sometimes that can be negated by just starting. I think too, hustle culture and this idea that everything has to be like super polished and put together and well done when you like have something will put you in the mindset that you just shouldn't start at all. Like, even this, for me, like this podcast, this whatever this is I'm doing right now, this talking to you on YouTube or Spotify, wherever you're listening at, this has been something that I've negotiated with myself about for a while. Like, I put this gallery wall together in my house for the sole purpose of being able to shoot better content and record better things. And I was like, oh, but I have to buy a camera. I have to buy this. I have to buy that. I have to have all these things completed before I can start making content. I'm recording this on this microphone I bought 3 years ago when I had another podcast with my line brother called the Essential Roundtable Podcast. This arm I bought, that's the only thing different. The camera right now I'm looking at you on is my iPhone 13 Pro Max, and I'm recording on my MacBook Air that I've had, my MacBook Air, my Mac Mini rather, that I've had for like 4 or 5 years since right after I started law school, I bought that. So everything that I have right now to create this experience, to create this podcast, is stuff that I've already been holding on to for years. And the thoughts, I've written scripts, I've written, ideas in my notes for years about things I want to talk about. And it's just been this consistent rumination, this consistent delay of what I want to make happen. And I was talking with my therapist about just kind of like rumination and like the ADHD brain in general being neurospicy, as Natasha Rothwell is saying all across the United States right now. But a part of it is just because of the way in which our brains work when you have ADHD, is that you just want to get things done immediately. And sometimes the thoughts can be like, kind of paralyzing because you want to make everything happen immediately, but it doesn't come across the way you want it to come across. But the other part of it is that if I have this vision and this idea of the life I want to live, if I have this thought about the things that I want to do, the only thing in my instance, in this case, with like the creation of this podcast or the creation of some things that I want to do, the only thing standing in my way is me and my inability to just start. You know what I mean? And I think hustle culture and like social media, this overcommitment culture that we have, like this accountability and this consistency, just like this trend, like this lock in, the great lock in. If I hear that shit one more time, I'm gonna scream. I'm so tired of like those things come across all the time, and people are consistently pushing this idea that you have to restrict yourself to the harshest and the most critical and like conservative and like David Goggins type circumstances in order to make progress, which in some instances that works for some people, but you also can like make things happen by just starting. Slow money is better than no money. All money ain't good money, but slow money better than no money. You know what I mean? Like if you are someone who is able to start somewhere and build on it, this should get better over time naturally. That's just how life goes. You know what I mean? Practice doesn't make perfect, but it damn sure make better. It damn sure makes better. So in that sense, just like drown out the hustle culture and the overcommitment culture and this idea that you have to get it all right. You got to lock in. You got to turn off all the silence. You got to just zone and focus on, turn that shit off. Just start. Commit to starting and being yourself, and then make it a daily practice to be better. And that's incremental. That's small steps, right? Like commit. All good things in life, I believe, are a practice. Religion, prayer is a practice. You practice prayer on a daily basis. You profess your faith on a daily basis, right? Sports players practice their craft over and over again. Professions practice, lawyers practice, doctors practice. And these things, nobody's ever going to be perfect in any of those things. People are going to have mistakes. People are going to have slip-ups. People are going to have days where they miss reps. You know what I mean? You practice when you weightlift or you swimming, when you running for a marathon, you practice over and over and over again. And the practicing is what gives you the opportunity to build on and expand and make better. It's all just a different variation of saying enjoy the journey. Like that's all it is. It's just saying enjoy the ride. And I think we should do a better job of making sure that people understand that. Of making like people sometimes get so caught up in, I think, the hustle culture too, because you're able to see what someone has done in a short period of time, and they have made like a major change in their life, or like a major transformation with money, if it's like a money challenge, or like with a 75 hard, if it's a body challenge, or with I don't know, start a new job or moving out the country. And it's all these things that make you think that you have to commit a portion of your life to make this happen in this time period. But if you're able to just commit to starting what it is you want to do and integrating that to being a part of who you are, for me anyway, I found that in those instances, those types of practices have been way more rewarding for me than the little commitments I've tried to make that often I don't even finish. Like I've tried 75 hard 3 times and made it to like day 65. You know what I mean? I've tried fad diets and made it to lost 10 pounds, gained 15 back, right? But when I've started incorporating things to be a part of my life in a daily practice, when I started making sure I hit 10,000 steps on a regular basis and count my calories 6 out of 7 days on a regular basis and give myself a little leeway on one days, that's when I'm losing 30, 40 pounds instead of, and not gaining those pounds back. When I'm making it a practice to commit to all the days of my marathon training plan and running all the days, you know what I mean, hitting all the miles, that's when I'm able to complete those plans and be able to run my first race, you know what I mean? So I think that it's just about committing to starting and showing up and being better every single day. Whatever that looks like in life, whatever that means for you, like whatever area it's applicable to, just commit to starting. Just start. And I'll just close with the same thing I said a little minute ago. Slow money is better than no money. Slow money is better than no money. And you are worth like showing up for yourself in that way and building a life that you want to have And the only way you're going to get it is if you show up for yourself. So just know that sometimes you just got to start. Stop the overthinking. Get out of your head as it relates to that. And if you need some help with some medication or something like that, get your ADHD meds. Go see that lady. Go sit on that couch. Talk to that lady. Get them meds so you can slow down and your thoughts can be a little bit clearer. I understand. Trust me, I understand. Nothing wrong with getting that help. Or if you're a herbalist, all types of herbs. Where herbs are legal, do your herbs or drink your teas or whatever it takes for you to get and be where you need to be. If you're someone who practices, if religion alleviates that for you and clears your thoughts in that way, if God does that for you, then talk to him about it. But do what you need to do to be able to start. Just start. All right. That's all for this episode, y'all. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Be sure to send me questions via email. If you have any thoughts about what you want to hear me talk about on the show or anything that you just want to share with me in general. I'm Adrian Lowe, and I'll see y'all next time. I'll see y'all sometime soon. Peace.